So this week was definitely a little bit emotional for me, and I thought it was important for me to do a vlog about it, because when I vlog about things that I know that people can relate to and connect to. I've spoken, to close friends or close groups before about the experience that I had in college when I joined my first poetry club. How I had prepared for months, and right at the time when I went to perform, I was told by the directors of the event that I was not able to perform because there was someone who came from another school, or there were a bunch of other performers on the list. Basically, they forgot about me. And when it was too late at the last minute, it was kind of like, sorry, but we got you at the next event. Now, that was one of the most heartbreaking experiences that I've ever had in poetry. To prepare for an event, to sign up for an event, to be excited, invite my friends, and get there and be told, hey, you're not performing. And sad to say, I've experienced it again twice while being out here in Atlanta. And my thing is, when you experience a lesson more than once, it's because there's something you haven't learned, something you haven't gotten, that you were supposed to get in the lesson the first time. Now, coming out here to Atlanta, I performed at a show. I signed up to perform at a show. I was one of the first people there. I was there for maybe 3 hours waiting for my name to be called, and within those 3 hours going up and saying, hey, do you know when I'm gonna be next, whatever. And it really took me 3 hours of sitting and waiting, knowing that I had been one of the first people at the event, one of the first people to sign up, to really get, this is disrespectful to your craft. Whether they call you or not at this point, they don't deserve to hear what you have to put out. And I promised myself I would never perform at another open mic. I would never perform at another, sign up to, no, I won't. Now recently someone reached out to me, said, hey, I have this homegirl, she puts on this really dope show, I think you would be awesome. I said, great, let's see what's up with it. I reached out to her, got in touch with the organizers of the event, ended up being told, yeah, we'd love to have you, this is what the time and date it is. Great. I get to the event, and immediately the vibe was just like awful. You could tell the host was very stressed out. And one thing, when you have artists going up to perform and you have a bad vibe, get somebody else to interact with the artist, because you don't want to kill an artist vibe. But I think that happened for a reason. I really feel like at that very moment that I got that vibe, I should have just said, you know what, I don't think this is for me. Second red flag was they were charging for this event but not paying their artists. So the artists are performing for free, but you guys are making money off of the event. It's one thing. Now, I get there once again. I'm pretty early. I'm seated with the other artists, waiting to perform. Great, wonderful. I hear the host go, well, those are all of our artists for the night. Now we're gonna be doing our open mic section if you'd like to perform. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, are you fucking kidding me? This is not happening again. This is not fucking happening. And it really took me packing up my things and saying, fuck this. Like for real, fuck this, capital F, fuck this. For her co-host to catch my vibe and look at her and say, oh, wait, we got one more person, blah, blah. She comes over to me and is like, you're next, okay? No, bitch, you forgot about me. Like, let's keep it real, let's keep it cute. You know what I'm saying? You forgot. And that was definitely a moment for me to say, you know what? Once again, we're past the third red flag at this point. No, I'm not going up there. Now, I went up there and I performed because in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to feel, released once I get this piece out that I've worked on, that I plan to share tonight, that I made a commitment to share tonight with the audience. And after I shared, even being on stage, I just felt so off. I felt like, wow, I'm not supposed to be up here doing this. And the reason that I fell off, and the reason that I'm sharing this, is because you have to know what stages you are, what stages you're in life. You know what I'm saying? I had my time where I studied my craft. I went to school studying poetry. You know what I'm saying? I had my time where I studied on my own time great poets and all types of poetry, from spoken word to prose to, you know, poetry before they even solidified the English language. I'm talking about Beowulf and shit like that. Like, I've had my time of really researching and trying to become an expert in my craft. I've had my time of open mics. I've had my time of poetry slams. I've had my time of hosting events. And now it's so important to know what season I'm in. I'm not in the season of performing for free anymore. And you have to know when you reach that season, and you have to know when you're not in that season. When you've reached that season is when you have had those moments. You can say, I did this, I went there, I was doing that. And now it's time for me to put a collection of work together, put something out, and curate my own show. Because now I know what I'm doing. Now my work is out there. Now people know who I am as a poet. And the whole world doesn't need to know who I am as a poet. I know who I am as a poet. When you're performing open mics, it's because you're trying to get the feel of what it's like to perform in front of an audience. And that is something that I did for my entire 4 years of college. Every single, you know what I'm saying? Every month, if not every week, I was performing in college. And being on that stage, or being in an area where you are putting your art out to someone and they forget you, especially when it's like, you know that you're good at this, you know this is your gift, you know this is something where, you know, God speaks to you and puts something in your heart, and you put it down on paper and you share it with people, and when you share it with them, they feel something. You know that this is your gift. And for someone to forget that, you got to know your worth.